Hello, this is the trade site US Forex and International Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, the 3rd of February 2018, ending Friday, the 8th. Hope you had a good trading week. Here's a look at the dollar index on the daily chart. It really didn't do anything. This is one of the strangest weeks ever. We really had almost no trades that triggered. We don't get that a lot. Usually we have a trade triggers every day at a minimum, and that doesn't even count most of what we teach from a trade setup perspective. But our main trade calls usually trigger. Went 3 days without it. It's a record since we've been doing this in 2004. Here's the euro dollar, the inverse of the dollar index, daily chart, nothing here. Made a little pop on Wednesday. That was it. The pound, totally flat for the whole week. Aussie dollar popped on Wednesday. That's it. That's the Fed announcement. Euro yen, nothing at all here. Pound yen, so nothing here. This is literally one of the flattest weeks we've seen. All right, let's look at the intra-week action. So 30-minute candles on the euro dollar, and you can see, look, for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it was basically a 60 pip range, which is untradeable. And he popped on the Fed announcement, and then that was it. Came back a bit. There's really nothing there. The pound dollar, Monday and Tuesday were horrible. They tanked Tuesday going into Wednesday, came back on the Fed announcement a little bit, and then just flattened. It's just not a tradable week from that perspective. It's nothing we look at. We have no setups. We have even the levels intraday were pretty terrible from that perspective. So we had a couple days with no trades triggered, and there's nothing else to do. So look at that. But we can look forward and look at the economic data coming out in the week ahead. So Sunday, New Zealand building consensus, Japan monetary base, Australia MI inflation gauge. China's got their bank holidays to start the week. Australia building approvals going into Monday. We've got European Spanish unemployment change, Syntex investor confidence, UK's construction PMI, Europe's PPI, Italian's preliminary CPI. U.S. has their factory orders at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday. Loan officer survey in the afternoon. AIG Services Index at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time out of Australia. ANZ commodity prices. China goes on bank holiday. Australia does their retail sales trade balance and their RBA rate announcement, basically the Bank of Australia rate announcement there. And then going into Tuesday, you've got the Spanish, Italian, French, German, European, and UK services PMI numbers, then the retail sales number, final services PMI number out of the US, bank holiday out of New Zealand and China, so they're out of the picture for Tuesday, or going into Wednesday, really. Then going into Wednesday, German factory orders, building permits out of Canada, preliminary non-farm productivity out of the US, along with their trade balance. So that's one of our big three each month. Will be half size ahead of the trade balance number on Wednesday. New Zealand's GDT price index, IV PMI, U.S. dollar crude oil inventories, 10-year bond auction. Australia's got the AIG construction index. We've got the unemployment rate and the employment change and labor cost index out of New Zealand. U.S. We've got Fed Chair Powell speaking at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. China's still on bank holiday. Australia, nothing. 30-year bond auction out of Japan. Leading indicators out of Japan. German industrial production, French trade balance. Foreign currency reserves out of Switzerland, Halifax HPI out of the UK. Europe has their ECB economic bulletin and their Italian retail sales numbers. UK has their rate announcement, 7 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday. So the rate announcement, and that's a big deal out of the UK, obviously. We've got the weekly initial and continuing jobless claims at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time here in the US. After that, natty gas at 10:30, consumer credit at 3. Household spending at 6:30, bank lending at 6:50 out of Japan. These are both out of Japan. All of it's out of Japan. Household spending, bank lending, and current account, plus the average cash earnings. China stays on bank holiday, whatever. The rate announcement, their statement at least, out of Australia at 7:30 p.m. Going into Friday, we've got the economy watchers sentiment out of Japan, unemployment rate out of Switzerland, German trade balance, French industrial production and private payrolls, Italian industrial production, housing starts out of Canada, and their unemployment rate. So it's the trade balance number on Wednesday. That's the big one here in the U.S. There's some other big numbers, but they're not U.S.-based. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading.